I'm bald now. Deal with it, y'all. It's gone. I'm done with the hair. Now I look like my brother.
You
It's,
fought it. You fought it way too long.
I did fight it way too
I'm
long.
just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at you. I was like, yo, the fight. Sometimes you got to let the battle go. You know what I'm saying?
It was a losing battle.
It was, man.
It was a losing battle.
You was up there trying to fight your way up. You was looking for more hair. It wasn't coming.
It wasn't coming, bro.
You
I
was
had
looking for
to.
more hair like Trump was looking for votes. Like it's done.
Ah,
They called it. It's
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 over.
out. It's
It's out.
over.
Down for the count. I had to let it go, man. I was walking around looking like LeBron James. Like, man, but I ain't got LeBron James money,
They
so I
got
couldn't.
LeBron James money. LeBron James can have no hair one day and then a full head the next day. He can do that.
Yeah, we could deal with it.
You know what I'm saying? That's that bad. You know.
He got all them accomplishments. Speaking of basketball, your boy.
Hey
Look,
man, you know what? I'm gonna say it like this. I know the thing now is, man. I wish that man the best. Look, you put in the time. I don't like the way you exited. I
who you
have no
talking
idea.
about? For the people that for the audience.
We talking about James Harden. All right. I don't like the way he exited. There's no doubt about that. I don't. However, like given that we are in Houston, as a Houstonian and as a Houstonian that's a big fan of all Houston sports and all Houston sports that are run by a certain type of billionaire, and you got a whole bunch of black athletes and you see the way they get treated. I don't know what happened behind the scenes with James Harden and them. Like I really don't. And I don't like the like there's only so much I can say about like that man. They're like, oh, we gave him this, we gave him that, we gave him this, we gave him that. All
Yeah,
right. My man got to the playoffs every year. Like every year. He breaking up accolades every year. And then it's like, well, he didn't come through on that last play. It's like, I get it, but he put in work. I disagree with what Shaq was saying, where he's like, yo, he didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know what's going on with him, you know? And looking at the Texans and Deshaun Watson, I'm like, you have no clue what is going on behind the scene. One thing that I know is consistent is I hope that whatever happens with Houston sports, that a whole lot of stuff focus gets put on owners. I would like people to be
okay.
just as mad at these owners and be like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like I mean, look at the Texans. We asked for a quarterback for how long? And now we have arguably one of the best,
That's
like
true.
one of the best. And it turns out we needed more than the quarter. Like you can't trade away a whole team, just get a quarterback and then be like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm not gonna knock Harden. I wish him the best. I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna fare out. I know
Yeah.
how basketball works. Y'all tell me that this is gonna be a super team one. I mean, this was supposed to be the last 2 years was supposed to be Golden State and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Remember Golden State fans? You
I
remember
know,
them?
man.
Where did they go?
Exactly.
They they Laker fans now.
Once
Like
your
you
boy
don't know
gets
what's gonna
hurt,
happen.
you know what I'm
Next
saying?
next year, a bunch of kids could be having Victor Oladipo jerseys. Like you never know. You never know how this game is gonna go. So who knows?
Oladipo. Say it right. Say it with me.
Man,
Oladipo.
I'm not pronouncing that name right. I'm not pronouncing his name
Oladipo.
right until I'm sure he wants to stay here and not go to Miami.
That's true.
So that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I
And
know
looking
too.
at Victor
You too.
Oladipo, that brings me to my first line that I always say, black and ugly as ever. However, I
Oh
stay
my
used to
God.
down to my socks. Welcome to another installment of In My Humble Opinion podcast, where the opinions are humbled and the words aren't jumbled. I'm your host, Avery, like a very nice guy, also known as Avery Zadius. On Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, wherever you can find me, I'm that same guy. And I'm thanking you for taking your time out and checking out In My Humble Opinion podcast. Also, you can find our host over here, my brother, Jess Devon, also known as Dr. Douglas, on all socials. And you can find him, and I'm sorry, you can find us at My Humble O, ladies and gentlemen. My Humble O on all socials and everything. And let's not forget about the streams. We're on all DSPs and including YouTube. I listen to us on YouTube, like I always say, because I like the sound of my own voice and I like to look at me, even with this bald head. It's fine with me. If you're not familiar with us, we usually spotlight the talents in the city of H-Town. And when we're talking about H-Town, a lot of times I've been on a lot of Houston rooms, and that the new, it's not even new, just the app Clubhouse. I'm on there just about every day. I stay on Clubhouse a lot. If you listen, you know I'm on Clubhouse. And I've had interesting conversations with a few people. And one night in particular, the general consensus of the conversation was that Houston music is not diverse, specifically the production. So I asked this person, I was like, hey, name me one person from the city of Syrup and, tell me who you know. And this soothsayer, if you will, could not give me one example. They went on to actually blame the producers in the city for not making themselves known, bringing up producers like Metro Boomin, Hit Boy, to name a few. The fact is, I told them that these people are not household names. They're hot, popular even, but that's not just because you choose, I'm sorry, that's only because you choose to listen to a specific few rappers, mostly Drake and people of that ilk. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but the producers of those records worked hard and got numerous placements on various albums that you just haven't paid attention to. They didn't just wake up and get Grammys off their first beat. They planned their work and worked their plan. Our guest today can speak to that. One actually started from making beats on PlayStation, and one came from an actually musical background. They've gone from that to working with people like Slim Thug, that's my favorite rapper, Propane, Beat King, Meek Mill, Kanye West, Zero, Dolla Sign, Killa Kyleon, Nipsey Hussle, Bun B, and Kirko Bangz, just to name a few. Men that prove the adage that hard work often pays off. Now, we've seen them grow up in the city. Producers, songwriters, DJ Ryu and Pyro of Soundmob, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on?
Good.
How's it going? How's it going?
Intro.
Bless, man. Yeah.
Man, y'all some real big people in the city. Y'all are real important.
Thank you, man. We just working, man. That's all we can do is keep working, right?
Well, that's what we want to talk about, the work. And I'm gonna start off first because y'all, it's not like y'all started out together. First, we need to address the fact. You said what?
Remove spotlight, brother.
Like, you know what I'm saying? First off, it's showing all four of us right now. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? I got this. Don't worry, I got it. Yeah. But PlayStation, like that's what I want to know. Who starts off making beats on the PlayStation? You got to explain that to us.
All right, so Pyro, I've been an avid gamer since about 3-4 years old or whatever. So I was always into the game and heavy or whatever. I cried every day because I couldn't beat Super Mario Brothers and all that type of shit. Back in the day, Blockbuster was the popping thing. Everybody know about Blockbuster. That was like the red box of the 90s some shit. You know what I'm saying? So every weekend, my mom would take me and my brother and my sister to Blockbuster, and we would pick out video games or whatever. So when I was like around in the 7th grade or something like that, one of the games was MTV Music Generator. And shit, I seen that shit, checked it out or whatever, and they was basically like, you can remake hits or whatever. And it was basically like Fruity Loops before its time. And I picked it up and just gravitated, and that was my intro into production right there.
So this is starting out on the PlayStation.
The first.
The PS1?
Yes, the OG.
Wait, so you had the Music Generator 1?
Yes.
Because my homeboy had Music Generator 2, and that had the loops and stuff on it. So you started with 1. I saw 1. Wow. You came a long way from that.
Facts.
I got to be honest. I had no clue that you could be making beats for the PlayStation. Now, okay, so that's Pyro. All right. Now, Ryu, how did you get started in the music?
Yeah, so I grew up in a musical family, right? My grandfather, this is him right here in this picture, and my grandmother, they started playing music back in the 30s and 40s, man. So it was just in my blood. I had to learn something, right? I had to learn an instrument. My whole family, my mom's a singer. She had records out. My brothers, they're all musical. So it was just right that I picked up an instrument. The first instrument I picked up was actually an accordion. Um,
An
'Cause that's something my
accordion.
grandfather played. Yeah, the accordion. So once I learned the accordion, and then when I got to high school is when I started producing and getting into FL Studio. That's when I started playing on the keys and stuff. But my first instrument was the accordion, man. Yeah.
Okay. Now, was it always, I mean, and this kind of goes for the both of you, was it always a goal for the two of you to be in music, or were you thinking about going into other stuff? I mean, I know you're over here trying to beat Super Mario. So, like, what were your ultimate goals initially at first? Did you guys have this idea of, I'm going to make my life in music?
Yeah, I mean, well, I can speak for both of us. I mean, like we met doing music, so we pretty much knew we were gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of started off thinking that I was gonna be a rapper, and you know what I'm saying? That was like my intro into the shit or whatever. But like I just gravitated towards the music more. I would find myself listening to the music more than the lyrics and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? It kind of like the rapping just kind of came like it came second nature, but you know what I'm saying? It all had its influence in the bigger picture with songwriting aspects and all that. So
Yeah. For me, I started off as a DJ, right? Um, so I was DJing high school parties, and I was even making my own mixtapes in high school, just selling them, chopping and screwing, even like Spanish music and stuff like that. And so that's how I made my name in high school. Me and Pyro went to the same high school, and we linked up through a mutual friend named Crucial. He was a rapper at the time, and he connected us. And so we started. He introduced me to FL Studio, so I had no idea how to use FL Studio. I was actually on MPC 1000. My
Yeah.
brother bought me, so I had an MPC 1000. My brother hooked it up for me. Um, so I spent my time on that. Pyro introduced me to FL Studio, and it's been history ever since.
Two questions for you though. So DJ Ryu, you mind if I call you DJ Ryu?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. When you were screwing and chopping and whatnot, since you come from a Spanish background, I gotta know, since your people is big in Tejano, were you screwing and chopping Tejano music?
Most definitely, most definitely.
Really?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. And another question, what high school did y'all go to?
Barbara Jordan, BJ
That's
HSC.
really? Who's the
Yes.
principal?
So, with both of y'all at Barbara Jordan, and you said at what age are y'all, like, what age did y'all connect?
Like around 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there.
15, 16, 17. And what was it about each other that you were like, yo, this is somebody that, I just kind of gel or want to work with?
Man, for me, Ryu was the coolest Mexican I ever met. Like still to this day, like I never seen him rattled. I never, you know what I'm saying? He was just cool. You know what I'm saying? Just a cool dude that everybody wanted to be around. You know what I'm saying? And that was like outside of music, that was what gravitated me to him. Then when I found out how talented he was, you know what I'm saying, as a musician, that was like the icing on the cake.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. For me, when I met Pyro, man, he was hooping all the time. So I thought he was gonna go to the league, man, but was always in the gym.
Oh man, I thought I was a little Carmelo, man.
Yeah, hoop dreams.
Yeah, I had hoop dreams, man, for real.
Now, at what point are you guys deciding, like, all right, we can like make music and live off of music? Like, let's form together, because y'all met. You said Crucial connected y'all, correct?
Right, right.
So, at what point are you like, yo, let's form a production duo?
Man,
Was it right after high school, right? It was right
yeah, it
after
was
high school.
right after high school.
Yeah.
We were like all through high school, we were like working in conjunction with Crucial on music all the time, whatever, but it was never like a group or whatever. We were both putting our input in and we were like collabing all the time or whatever, but we didn't put a title on it until, you know what I'm saying, like after high school, I think we started doing beat battles and stuff like that. and we would be doing them like individually. You know what I'm saying? We was coming up through the ranks like that. And then I think what really solidified it, it was like this one beat battle, Red Bull Big Tune. Like we did that
Yes.
in '07.
Mm-hmm.
And like we both got pretty far in there. We were like two of the youngest dudes in the whole competition, and we going up against like 35-year-old dudes who seasoned vets in the game and shit like that, but we still held our own. And like that showed us like like the strength we had, and we were working together all the time anyway. So we just like came together like, yo, let's link up and really like do this for real. You know what I'm saying? That was really like the birth of everything that you see today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, the other thing too is like, because we just talked to Charity, Charity Work, and she was talking about the strength of these beat battles, where did you guys know about like how the beat battles were before you got into it? Charity talked about how she was surprised at all these producers and things like that coming together. What were your feelings like entering that first one, or seeing a battle as big as the Red Bull one?
And that was pretty dope. See, I was already into beat battles, but it was like online on the site called Rock Battle. I learned about Rock Battle because the producer Rockwall, the legendary producer, like he was on Rap City one day and he was talking about a new platform that he created called Rock Battle, where two producers could like battle beats against each other or whatever. And it was like millions of producers on there. And this was like back when I was in high school and shit. So this had to be like around like '02, '03 or something like that when it first popped off or whatever. So I was familiar with the battle scene, but I had never experienced it like in person. So you know what I'm saying? Red Bull Big Tune, that was like the best beat battle experience. I feel like it was like Juice. If you can imagine that shit, Juice for producers, like the movie Juice.
Yeah, yeah, do the DJing. Okay.
Definitely.
And what about you, Ryu? What were your feelings?
I mean, I had never experienced it before, you know. I mean, I've seen like rap battles and stuff like that, but to actually have a crowd of 1,000+ people that just to see producers, you know, getting the producers a spotlight like that, that was something I never seen before, and it was something incredible, man. I can't explain it. Going in '07 by ourselves, like Pyro said, and then coming back, like with the goal that whole summer, me and Pyro had a goal. We're like, we're gonna come back, we're gonna win this competition. And the next year we came back as a duo, Soundmob, and we actually won that competition. And it was just an incredible feeling, man. It was a great night for Houston. And I still get people that send me messages to this day who were there at that event. Were like, man, that was just a crazy event. They had never experienced nothing like that before, and they still remember that almost what 12, 10 years later now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. And you said that like it was that event where that's like the birth of Sound Mob, the name, the collection. Tell us about Sound Mob. Like what does that name stand for?
Pyro, you want to get on this one?
Oh yeah, I could touch on that. So basically, we was like, we were in the studio, like you said, that whole summer, and we were just like trying to solidify shit for ourselves and really like make it real. And like we were making incredible music, but we didn't have a name yet or whatever. So me, Ryu, and Crucial were in the studio, and we just like pieces of paper and pens and shit, just trying to figure out a name for us or whatever. And like we wrote down a whole lot of names, but Sound Mob was something that stood out. And Sound Mob is actually an acronym for the sound of magnificently orchestrated beats. So we felt like that fitted, you know what I'm saying, our production style, and we just ran with it. And to this day, like, you know, that's something that we holding true to.
Do you remember any of the names that didn't make it?
Nah, I don't remember.
Not one. Can't give me one, my guy.
I can't think of not one because Soundmob was so good. When you come up with something like that, you really just block out everything else.
That's real. The acronym is tight.
Appreciate it, man.
Now, coming off of the beat battle, you hear different producers say different things. Like it's like some people come off and immediately start working. Other people are like, I don't know what to do. I know how to win the beat battle, but I'm not exactly sure where to go next. So just for our listeners, I mean, especially our people that are interested in the production end, how did you guys handle success after the Red Bull competition, and how did y'all transfer that into working deeper in the industry?
I mean, the beat battle competitions in '08, we had like a run of just all the beat battles in Houston. We won every single one of them. Any beat battle we could have entered that year, we entered it. Scion had a beat battle, the Houston beat battle. We did a whole bunch of beat battles that year. So we made a name for ourselves in the underground scene as far as the producer wise. And from there, they got the attention of like the local, like H-Town artists, right? The H-Town legends like Slim Thug, Paul Wall. They started hearing our names bubble just from these beat battles. So we started to build our name and our network just from there. So we started to work with Slim Thug. We worked with Paul Wall. We worked with pretty much anybody in Houston that we could get a hold of. Killa Kyleon, Kiati. We were working with everybody just to build our name up. And so from there, just we leveraged our wins from the beat battle, created a name for ourselves in the city, and we utilized it, right. And we just went to work, and I mean, it was history from there.
Okay, okay. And I got both of you now on camera because both of you have the same thing in your background. All right. Both of you have that drink in my cup plaque. All right. Tell us about how that starts and what that album means to the both of you.
Okay.
Man,
Pyro, you can talk about how we met him.
I bet, yeah. So I was working at Academy, and a good friend of mine, Tay Mitch, who I met working at Academy, uh, we would, what I'm saying, just be shooting the shit at work, and I would always let him check out my music or whatever, my beats. Me and I use production and shit, and you know what I'm saying, like he believed in us, you know what I'm saying. But the whole time he was telling me about Kirko Bangz because he went to high school with Kirko Bangz in North Shore, and he was like, "Y'all got a homie who go to PV. He dope. He rap. You know what I'm saying. But I think he going, you know what I'm saying. He got it, bro. He got it. You know what I'm saying. And as a producer, you hear that all the time. You know what I'm saying. So like the game is super saturated. Everybody think they partner can rap. Everybody think, you know what I'm saying? For real, everything like that. So for probably like a few months or whatever, I just pushed it to the side. I really didn't take it too serious, but I seen how adamant he was about it or whatever, which made me like put some focus on it or whatever. So I told him to bring Kirko through the studio or whatever, and like let me check out what he had or whatever. I had like a little bedroom home studio or whatever, and so he brought him through, and you know what I'm saying, like Kirk, like his energy, everything, his whole charisma, everything about himself, it was just, you know what I'm saying, he just had that it factor, you know what I'm saying, and it made me take a liking to him, and musically, you know what I'm saying, he was just different. It wasn't the same old same that you hear from Houston artists, especially at that time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep in mind this was like right after that whole Houston, like the resurgence of Houston, like with Slim, Paul Wall, Chameleon, Trey the Truth, Zero, when Mike Jones, when all of them shot to the top, you know what I'm saying? This was that time right after that when the city was just dry, and I felt like everybody was looking for what was gonna be that next thing. And this was like right around the time where Wayne was going crazy in the game, just to give some context or whatever. And so Kirko came through, he freestyled to a few tracks or whatever. And after that, you know what I'm saying, I knew it was real. And from there, you know what I'm saying, like I told Ryu, you know what I'm saying, yo, it's this kid Kirko, and I played the music for him or whatever. And like, I don't know if you want to pick up from there, Ryu.
Yeah, man. When he played the music for me, like his freestyles was just crazy, right? He was on when he came to us, he was really on some rapping, right? He was like on some backpacking, like he was really on his rap shit at the time. And so hearing that, and then just hearing the potential and how young he was, it was just like, okay, we gotta invest him. We gotta invest some time into him. We gotta build it up. So from there, like Pyro said, Tay Mitch would bring him to the studio, and we would just work, man. We would just create records. I think the first record he created was something like it was like a rocket. What was it called, Pyro? It was something about going up like a rocket. I mean, it wasn't a record that came out, I don't think, but
Oh
it was,
yeah,
it was a
no,
dope
no.
record.
Yeah, like I don't, man, we recorded so many records back then, bro. Like the work ethic was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Kirk's he's always been like a fast worker or whatever, but like that was like at that time that was something that I had never seen before. Like you know what I'm saying? We would be able to crank them out, and we would flip from doing commercial records that are already out, him just like taking them over and freestyling on them and shit. So it's like creating shit from scratch or whatever. So like it was just a diverse process, and the whole thing about it was just like his energy and his charisma throughout the music. It was something. It was so energetic where you could just feel it. It was almost like you felt it building. Like you could see the snowball kind of building. And you know, so I tell everybody like the moment where I felt like that shit came to fruition and where everybody could see it was when we recorded What Your Name Is. Now, What Your Name Is, that was like never meant to be the single that it was. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that happened sporadic, spare the moment. Kirk and all his partners in my studio or whatever, just having fun. He's shooting the shit, telling like a story on some slick Rick type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that shit just bubbled into What Your Name Is. It started off as a 6 minute record, but then when it grew legs or whatever, like the radio wanted, so we had to shorten it down to 30, like 3 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. And that was like the birth, like the real birth of Kirko Bangz, but it was a lot of work that went into building up to that point.
Right.
So y'all released What Your Name Is as a long record, the full 6 minutes.
Full 6 minutes on Procrastination Kills.
Okay. Okay. So when you get to you're seeing things like What Your Name Is, that's getting a response. When you guys recorded Drinking My Cup, did y'all know like, yo, this is it? Like something's about to happen? Or was it just, yo, we're just gonna see what happens? Like what were your feelings when you finished? And then when you saw the response of the city and nationwide, really?
Yeah. I mean, when we recorded the record, you know it was a good record, right? You know when you make a great record, but you don't know what the record is going to be, essentially, right? You know if it's a good, feel good record. When I knew it was going to be a big record, was this all happened so quickly, right? We recorded the record and it was on the radio maybe within the next week. Um, 97.9 Manhattan Morning Show premiered that record and played it 3 times back to back to back. And at that point was when I knew, okay, we got something special here.
I remember that.
They don't normally do that, right? But
Yeah.
he played that record like 3 times back to back to back. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? You know? Like this is about to be something real crazy.
Now, what's going on with y'all at this time personally? I mean, usually at this point, like we usually ask our guests, like, how are things going in your personal life around this time, like in terms of family and stuff like that. Your family, when they're looking at you guys making music, are they gung ho behind the music the whole time, or are they like, let's see how it goes, and then it gets played on 97.9 3 times back to back, and they're like, okay, well, maybe y'all are doing something? Or was it always just this support where it's like, yo, I know these guys are going to be music producers the whole time? How did each one of your families, how are they looking at y'all so far?
I feel like the support was definitely there on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryu comes from a musical family or whatever, so they were 10 toes down. And while my family didn't come from a musical background, everybody was there, like 10 toes down with the support. You know what I'm saying, from the jump. Like so, I definitely got to commend both our people for that. You know what I'm saying? They always pushed us and supported us in any kind of way they could.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
And you the same, right? You say your family. I mean, your family's has that musical background, so this
Right,
is
yeah, yeah. I always had to support my music, but at the same time, my family was also like, get your education as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Don't just rely. So I mean, they pushed me to go to school and college and stuff like that too. So I was able to get that out the way for them too. but they also supported me 100% of the music side as well because obviously music was in our blood. So I mean, they loved seeing what I did and taking it to where I took it to me and Pyro, as far as like getting records out there on the radio, getting platinum plaques. And like I don't think anybody in my family has ever done that before, you know. So that was a blessing in its own, just being able to put our family name out there like that. So I mean, that was a good time for the family just to see that. I was making real proud.
And then the other thing too is you see this a lot with artists because we only get the chance to see you once the success happens. So you guys are putting in work. You making. I mean, you're starting out on the accordion as a kid. He's starting out on the PS1 making beats. By the time you get a lot of people getting introduced to you, when you're seeing like national records, you're seeing things play on 97.9 and stuff like that. It appears like things can start to happen quick after that. So as you guys are gaining this success, like what are your next moves?
I mean, obviously, what's the next record gonna be, right? Well, you can't. You're only as big as your last record, right? So now it's just working to try to create the next one, right? So it was always okay. We got this one on the radio, but what's next? So me and Power always went back to the drawing board, like, okay, let's create some more records. We got to keep working. We got to keep working. Let's reach out to these artists now that we have a name, right? So we started to travel a little more when Drink My Cup came out. So we started going to New York. We started going to LA, and just seeing the response people had to that record, in particular, Drinking My Cup, hearing it on the radio in LA or hearing it on the radio in New York in these big markets, and for it to be so big out there and for people to recognize that song, just going to the studio and be like, yo, this is my favorite song right now. This beat is crazy. Like, I mean, coming from Houston and having that national recognition like that, I mean, that was just something that we didn't normally see for us personally. And just seeing that record out there so big like that, I mean, it made us proud just to be from Houston and to be able to work with people and for them to want to work with us, right? I mean, that felt good for people to show us love like that going out to these different cities. So, I mean, we definitely built up on that and we try to just go on to the next record and try to build from there.
What would you guys say was your next big record where you felt like things were moving?
Um, I mean, we had the record "Keep It Trill" after that, but I mean, I don't know if it was. I mean, that you can count that, but I mean, it was who shot the video? Pyro, you remember who shot the video? It was a big direct.
I think Benny Boone might have shot
Benny
that one.
Boom Benny Boom shot that video, so it was. I mean, they put a lot of money into that record. So I mean, that you could say that was our next big record, but our next successful record probably came 4 years after that. So I mean, it took a grind to get our next record, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the next record that came after that was the Kanye and Tyga record. Um, so what that did for us was put us back in the spotlight as far as being in these major cities. So we started to travel again. So that came out in like 2017, 2016, when that record came out. Not even that. Let me go back. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
Record before that was Liddy. I'm tripping. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering.
I skipped right over Liddy. Yeah. So Liddy, yeah, the Meek Mill record, man. That was our next big record, the Meek Mill and Tory Lanez record, the Liddy record. Yeah, that one went platinum too.
Right.
I mean, that's a good problem to have, forgetting which platinum records y'all have had in the thing. So that's not a bad problem. How did you guys end up connecting with Meek Mill?
Man, just through relationships. Like back when we were in the Warner Brother dealing with, like the whole Kirko situation. We were blessed enough to meet a guy by the name of Dallas Martin. And like he really fucked with us tough. Like at one point in time they wanted to like sign us to like a production and management deal and that fell through or whatever, but he just stayed solid. He stayed, connected with us. And he notified us and let us know that he was A&R in Meek Mill's project or whatever, like, and told us to send over some music or whatever, and he was gonna play it for Meek directly or whatever. So we sent over maybe 4 or 5 beats or whatever, and Liddy happened to be one of those songs that came out of that pack or whatever.
Now, when it comes to, I mean, you guys are a production duo, and I think about other production duos and just producers in general, where you see like Cool and Dre or like the Alchemist or things like that. Like, who are some of the producers that you two were looking at? And I'm not gonna say necessarily trying to model, but you're like, oh, okay, this is the kind of success that I'm trying to get to, or I'm gonna take a gym from here and kind of learn from them to make sure that I can get on that level. Who do you guys look at for that?
Man, so it was definitely Cool and Dre. They were one of the duos. The Runners is another one. Uh, even like we always studied the greats. So like Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, um, like Dr. Dre, Swiss Beats, Kanye West, like everybody who really like did their thing, Manny Fresh, like we just been students of the game from the jump and not in one particular genre. You know what I'm saying? We were studying Dr. Luke and you know what I'm saying, like a whole lot of like a whole array of music. You know what I'm saying? So we stayed students or whatever. Can't forget about Timberland. I don't know if I said him or not, Timbo the King.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, we
Now,
ready to
oh,
go.
go ahead.
No, you good.
Oh, but the other thing too is when you're looking at uh coming from Houston, because you guys start out, you're around that 2010 era, and you guys are building up, and it's like, Houston kind of goes through these waves of popularity where they influence kind of everything, and things just kind of die down, and then it picks back up. So, how have you seen it? How have you viewed Houston in terms of its success in the music industry over this decade that you guys have been working?
Man, so it's been, I would describe it as fickle, and I say that because like, so say like, okay, so Kirko, he had his run. After Kirko, I would say like Travis Scott, he definitely went up or whatever, and he's doing it on a whole another level. But when the reason why I say fickle, Houston is such a big market, and so many people come here and uh take what they will from the culture. Like it's like no, I don't feel like enough artists are able to like put their hands on that source and really like capture that essence and translate that to the world. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that part gets lost in translation. But the reason for that is crazy. Like I was actually on Clubhouse the other day and I was in a room with Bun B and Scarface, and Scarface really spoke on it and he hit the nail on the head. He said more Houston artists need to start thinking internationally. And I feel like
Hmm.
that's the reason why Travis won so big, because Travis never confined himself to shit that's only going on in Houston. He speaks on shit that's going on in Houston, but his message is so international to where, you know what I'm saying, like the world has no choice but to gravitate to it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I guess the other thing about that though is how how do you guys get that international feel so that you can have music that transcends well, not just, I don't want to say transcends like leaves Houston, but basically encapsulate that Houston sound, but also goes beyond.
And I feel like that just comes from like growing up in the culture and like Big Mo's City Under Siege, I mean City of Serb is like one of the classic albums of my era of growing up in Houston or whatever. Like that record was like it was timeless. You know what I'm saying? Like just the feel of it, what it stood for in that time.
Mhm.
So I like capture like I capture like the essence of that, and I equate that to you know what I'm saying, just that real Houston feel or whatever. And ultimately, I just felt like it was timeless. So we try to like have our music just stand on timeless. Like it's a lot of like gimmicks and stuff out there. Some artists, you know what I'm saying, they want to do what's hot and stuff like that. But you gotta know how to incorporate what's going on now, but don't lose the essence of timeless music.
Absolutely. Now, also, because I was in that clubhouse room, And I guess the other thing too is I get the international argument, but then you also look back because I feel like certain people, not certain people, I feel like I'm always surprised when I hear these artists that were nowhere near Houston that were affected. So you bring up, like, you're bringing up albums like Big Mom. I mean, I think about like ESG, like Oceans of Funk, and you hear so many artists that they were like, oh no, that was my album. Like that was it. So sometimes I'm like, I get the international argument, but then there are other times where I was like, yo, there are some things that we have done that go like, I cannot name, I'm not gonna say I can't name. There are countless artists that are influenced by Devin the Dude.
Yeah.
Countless. Like they just be out here and they're out here doing it. So, you know, I heard faces Bun the international argument, but also it does take us recognizing because like you guys are making music that kids are gonna hear all over and it's gonna influence them, and that's just what it is. It's just making sure that people know, one, y'all from Houston, like, and y'all are out here doing it. You know what I mean? What are some of the things that y'all are doing to make sure that your name gets out there further?
Man, we one thing that I'm doing is collaborating more nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like for the longest, you know what I'm saying? Like Ryu was pretty much like my collaborator, you know what I'm saying, my main collaborator. And I'm just seeing like in today's age, you know what I'm saying, like the producers who are really like blowing up and really like just have the biggest brands are the ones that like they collaborate real tough, you know what I'm saying, and they collaborate often. And that's really like something that I'm focused on in 2021, just finding dope producers from all over to collaborate with, because it's a lot of people all over the world who's really just, you know what I'm saying, getting in the game, and just everybody got something to offer, you know what I'm saying? So why not, you know what I'm saying, lend our services to them and just like link up and make it happen in a much, you know what I'm saying, much larger way, you know what I'm saying, in that much short of a period of time. It just makes everything easy.
Can you tell us anybody that you've collaborated with anytime?
Um, definitely the homie S1, like home S1, he was like one of the first major people that we collaborated with.
Really?
Like
Symbolic one.
yeah, man, symbolic one, man. That's like I tell everybody, like he's one of the most humblest figures that I've met, but like this dude is so amazing musically, and he's been amazing musically since I met him. And I just to see his whole career take shape before our eyes, that was really humbling and motivating at the same time. Definitely an inspirational character, you know what I'm saying? Like his whole story, you know what I'm saying? That shit's just like he's really been like a huge mentor to us, you know what I'm saying,
I
throughout
can
our
imagine.
process.
Blowing up from what is that? Kanye West Power. And
Yep.
also, so y'all met him around what 2007 because that's the winner of the 2007 beat battle, correct?
Right, right. He kicked my ass in that battle. Yep.
So I'm amazed. I'm like, yo, y'all are good. Like you kicked your ass, and now you like, all right, now we good.
Yeah, man. That was my christening.
Do y'all have anything currently out at the moment?
Huh?
Do you and S1 have anything out currently at the moment?
No, we just worked on a batch of beats not too long ago. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully something gets placed soon. So
It will.
see.
Yeah, it definitely
Absolutely.
will.
Absolutely. Who are some of the artists that you guys would like to start working with?
That we would like to start working with.
Well, no, I mean you've worked with a lot, but who are some of the artists that you kind of see on your radar that you're like, you know what, I make sounds and I like to see them on it.
Definitely J. Cole, definitely Kendrick Lamar. Um, Another one would probably be Anderson .Paak. I fuck with Anderson .Paak tough.
Yeah.
Um, man, it's actually an artist from Houston. We've been working with him for a while, but we don't really have too much music released. But we actually working on something right now, real special, with an artist named Stopper. I don't know if y'all familiar with Stopper.
Okay, stop it.
Stop is super dope or whatever. Like he's an artist and a songwriter. We working on a project with him right now. And that should be fun.
Stopper used to be called Showstopper.
Yep, yep.
Okay,
That's
y'all been working with him for a
Yep.
minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Showstopper y'all artist?
Nah, Showstopper's not signed to us. He's not our artist. We just like we've been homies since like
High school.
03, some shit like since high school. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So it's love. It's love.
Yeah. Family for sure.
Okay.
Now, I guess what is it about? Like you said, when you first met Kirko Bangz and you saw the way he was working in the studio and things like that, that's what gravitated you to him. Same thing. What is it that you guys see in an artist where you're like, you know what, this is somebody I really want to work with. This is somebody I really want to produce.
It comes down to work ethic and being coachable, right? If you're not coachable and you're not willing to learn and grow, then there's got to be a trait in you, right? So if you can take our critiques and our criticism, there's constructive criticism. So you got to be able to be coachable, right? You got to have the drive and the passion and talent, obviously, right? So all that plays a part into it, you know. And building chemistry with somebody, it's not going to be right away. So you have to keep working with them, trying to find out their style, trying to find out what fits them. So it comes down to just being in the studio with them and just putting in the time. And sometimes magic just happens out of nowhere.
Can you speak on the importance of that, of building that relationship in order to create good music?
Yeah, I mean, building a relationship is always the fundamental, right? Um, to go back into to putting time with each other, right? Getting to know a person, getting to know their background, and trying to find out how you guys can mesh and how we can take them to the next level. Um, I mean, we have an artist now that we're trying to build up, or we're trying to work with now. She's a singer. So it's just like we're in the beginning stages right now. So we're trying to fill her out. She's trying to fill us out. And so it just comes into putting in time, and you can't go around putting in the time with somebody and building that up with them.
Absolutely. Now, the other thing too, I wanted to expound more on the idea of being coachable because a lot of artists, we're talking about a lot of artists when they get in and they're working with a producer. You get artists that get so used to the idea of like, hey, I just rapped over somebody's beat. Somebody sent me beats, I rapped over it, I'm cool, it's good to go. You know what I mean? And so when we talk to producers, they're like, look, it's different when we're working with you. Like this isn't just, hey, we sent you a beat, you rapped over it, we like it, cool, go. What is it where you talk about actual getting into the idea of producing an artist, and what do you mean by being coachable?
Right. Being coachable means what's your teachability index, right? Are you willing to learn? If you're not going to take, like we've been in the game for a while, so you're not going to take our advice and you feel like you know everything, then we can't teach you anything, right? So you have to be coachable in the sense of if we tell you, no, it sounds better to do it this way, or no, replace those words and use these words. And if you don't take that advice and you feel like your way is the right way, then we're not going to be able to work, right? Um, so like coachable, right? You have to be able to take our advice, implement it, and use it. So if you're not going to be able to do that, then we can't work with you. You can't work with anybody really in this industry because you can't take criticism, or it's not even criticism, it's constructive criticism, to be able to make your artwork the best it can possibly be to get to that next level. Then that's what it takes, right? You have to be coachable. Power, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the word is guidance. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to be guided. You know what I'm saying? Like in this game, especially if you got uh, incredible producers behind you trying to, you know what I'm saying, push you to that next level. It would benefit you to listen and take that advice, or at least try it out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many artists that out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say so many, but we've came across artists where it's just like they don't want the advice. They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So to that artist, you know what I'm saying, they're not coachable. Like they really like nobody can work with them. They won't be able to really work with anybody. They're the artists who used to doing everything themselves, but when you step into this other arena, it's a team. It's a team effort. Like all of our records that are successful, that came about because it's a team effort. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't one person making all the decisions. It was a team collaborative effort. You know what I'm saying? So if more artists can get that through their head, I feel like more artists will become successful. That's like the difference from uh you know what I'm saying, a successful artist to an artist who just doing it, and you'll stay at the same level forever and you won't never know why or whatever. Like teamwork really does make the dream work.
That's true. Do y'all see that from a lot of the artists that you guys work with?
Uh, nah, we really don't, because I mean, like, I feel like we've been doing it so long that we know how to communicate in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an art in itself. That was like something that we had to learn over the years, especially coming from a beat battle background. I feel like us working with Kirk was really like our, you know what I'm saying? It was like our learning time to really like learn how to work with an artist. You know what I'm saying? That was like our trial and error period of learning how to work with artists.
Now, the other thing too is actually I'm for Ryu, because we talked to Pyro about the kind of up and down nature of the popularity of Houston and its spread. He talked a little bit about the Houston spreading out internationally. Let's talk about this most recent wave. So, I mean, Meg Thee Stallion, Maxo Cream, Travis Scott, Beyonce,
Right.
Kendrick Van, O&B Bloodbath. Like, I mean, there's a wave of artists now that you have that are doing stuff.
Tyler, I don't want to forget that one. That boy there's something else.
Exactly. And it's getting to the point now where it's like, you know, there was a point where it'd be like, oh, that's the dude coming out of Houston.
Mhm.
That's the girl coming out of Houston. And now it's like, oh, don't forget about such and such. Don't forget about him. Don't forget about her. Like, what is it like now seeing this most recent wave that's coming out of the city?
That's beautiful, man. You know, I love to see it. It's a whole new wave, right? The Maxwell Green, Meg Thee Stallion, like, I mean, it's just going mainstream again. It's like '06 happening all over again, right? You remember '06? Phil Tippin was out and Paul Wall and Mike Jones, and you had a wave of Houston artists just happening again, and it's beautiful, man. You know, it just goes to show you, man, that the H-Town sound will never die, right? It's been here since the beginning of hip hop, and it's gonna stay here. And then it's gonna be most influential, right? We have the DJ Screw movie now, so it's going worldwide now. So people are knowing more and more about the roots of H-Town, and it's just, the spotlight's coming back to the city. So it's beautiful, man. I love to see it.
And you brought up the movie. How was it working on songs for that movie?
I mean, that was an honor, man. It was an honor. Shout out to Chill and Tay Mitch that reached out to us and told us they wanted to be a part of the movie. Well, it was actually a tribute. Now they're gonna start filming the movie, but the tribute, we had 2 records on there, and just to be a part of the DJ Screw legacy, just to work on something that's gonna be so big. I mean, it was an incredible honor. I mean, Pyro, you know, when we got the call, right, it was just like, let's get to work. Let's knock this out right now because we got to make this happen. We got to make this movie happen. So, I mean, we worked on it during COVID, right? So we had to work from home. So I had to bounce ideas out. I would send ideas to Pyro and send them back. We sent them to Chill. They like them, they dislike them, so we fix them. So, I mean, it was just, like I said, it was an honor just to be a part of the legacy, and just seeing it come to life, and seeing how much the actor actually looked like DJ Screw was amazing to me. Like, wow, like, it was incredible, man.
He really did look like DJ Screw. Like, I was surprised when I first saw it.
And he could act.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that was his first project he's been on, and hearing him say, I believe he's from Louisiana or from DC, I'm not sure, but
They from
he
Louisiana.
didn't,
He's
he
from
didn't
Louisiana,
know,
yeah.
he didn't know who he was. He didn't know who DJ Screw was.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Living in Louisiana, that's insane. But
right, yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
I mean, he's obviously young as well, right? But
yeah.
just for him to look so much like him and him not even know who he was, it's like, what?
He knew about his legacy.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the good thing about it is, even with that, it was it was so well put together. And the fact that now you can see, like, that's just the beginning. Like I know a whole lot of hard work went into creating that, and now you see it's like, yo, there's so much more coming, and
Yeah.
so it gives you a lot of hope for what's coming down the pipeline. Because for the whole team, for you guys working on music, the people, the musical artists that contributed, the actors, the director, all that stuff, talking about people filming, uh that's the beginning of something in terms of his legacy, in terms of a film industry here in Houston. Like that's the other thing too, is like this is not known as like the filming city.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for them to get that off the ground, like that takes work, and that's just the beginning of something. So like kudos to you guys for being a part of that. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a great tribute.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Shout
Yeah.
out, shout out to Chill, man. He's one dude that doesn't cut any corners in any aspect, anything he does. So just working with somebody like Chill is an honor. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is refreshing for the city just to see the amount of, you know what I'm saying, attention to detail that he puts into his work or whatever is really inspiring.
That's
Absolutely.
good. That's
Now,
good.
for you guys and the work that you do, tell us some of the things that y'all are working on and what we have coming in the future.
Man, like right, you said we working with a new R&B artist right now, and like she's got a ton of potential, and like that's something that we really like focused on right now. We can't keep like let the cat out the bag right now, but that's something that we definitely investing a lot of our time into. And like I said, like we working with Showstopper. I mean, Stopper, my bad, bro. Working with Stopper on new music or whatever, and just like the new music is sounding amazing. That me and Ryu just been working on. Like he's went to another level musically and tapped into something different. You know what I'm saying? Like so, yeah, we just working and just like steady trying to craft our sound and take things to a whole nother level. You know, it's
Right.
like a whole new decade. So we just trying to like match the times and just, you know what I'm saying, step it up to a whole nother level.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, we're working with some dope songwriters as well, man. Shout out to August Rigo. He's trying to get us into the realm of the K-pop world, right? So
Okay.
so we're trying to tap into that K-pop realm as well. He just produced and he wrote two BTS's singles that came out this year. It's just like the biggest group in the world
That's
right now.
huge. That's real
So
huge.
Yeah.
we're working with him on that. So we're working with a lot of stuff, man. It's just more and more music got to I mean, shit. Kanye has like 40 beats of ours that he picked out. That he like specifically said don't touch these beats. So you never know when that might see the light of day. So you know what I mean. So we got records with them. We're obviously working on some more Meek Mill stuff. So we just gotta keep working, man. Just gotta keep putting our foot on the gas and don't let it up, man. Like you said, right now Houston got a new resurgence, so we gotta definitely be a part of that resurgence, man.
Now, just so people know out there, like, how can artists, how can fans, like, how can they find you, keep abreast of like the work that you're doing, and of course, you know, artists that want to work with you guys. How does that process go about?
I mean, yeah, like everything, man. Social media, right? So you can follow us on or follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ryu_Soundmob. Um, you can
Yeah.
hit us up on our email, beatsbysoundmob@gmail.com if you want to work with us too. So, I mean, Pyro, you can give them your information.
Yeah, sure. You can hit me on IG, Pyro_Sound on Twitter, Pyro_Sound with a Clubhouse, Pyro_Sound or whatever. Yeah, just tap in with us. We definitely trying to see who's gonna be that next wave of artists for us to work with or whatever. And it's really exciting how, you know what I'm saying, like the city is coming up. And like right you said, we definitely want to be a part of that resurgence. So we got our ear to the streets and we definitely listening and looking.
Now, Pyro, any plans on returning back to rap?
Man, like in 2018, I think it was, I released a single called Sky Level just to test the waters or whatever. And people was really fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Yeah.
It's not rap per se, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like a conglomerate of things that I'm capable of doing or whatever. So definitely I'm definitely gonna do it. When that's gonna happen, I'm not too sure. Like my focus is really on producing and like focusing on finding that next wave of artists or whatever. But most definitely in the future, like I definitely touch it.
Pyro definitely needs to put out records, man.
Yeah.
He's being too humble about his writing, man. His writing ability and his singing ability is incredible, man. A lot of these records that you heard that we put out that we've been a part of, he's actually been behind the scenes, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, definitely right now is the time because a lot of these producers are turning into big rappers now. So, I mean,
That's what I was wondering because I heard you earlier saying like, you know, I rapped and everything, but it just kind of it helps me inform other people. I think it makes you a great coach, but it's also like, hey man, if you can do it, why don't you just get out there too? Because you know, I'm pretty sure you can coach yourself the best. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, it's definitely something I'm gonna do. For me, you know what I'm saying? Like when I work on music, I dive in. It's almost like a rabbit hole. And that can become, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just living right now. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to enjoy life and I'm not really like I'm focused on music, but not in that aspect. When I was really doing music like that, that was like all I was doing 24/7. 24/7 it was just like head to the computer screen, just you know what I'm saying? I'm really like more focused on like living life and just enjoying life, especially in the crazy times that we got right now.
All right, all right.
That was a great interview, guys. I really want to thank you for coming out, man. Like it was real positive. I mean, Clubhouse can lead to this. I did not speak to I actually was speaking to Pyro. I didn't know how to get in touch with you. I'd see you on Instagram. I didn't know how this was gonna come about, but just being in rooms on Clubhouse, we got to link up and look what happened. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Clubhouse, that's the tool right there. I tell everybody, man, that's the tool. If you can get on there and network and you know, and ain't no telling what you might end up with $1 million deal just off, you know what I'm saying, off your mouthpiece and working that muscle. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get on there and just network and chop it up with people.
Just chop it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a good thing. So once again, thanking you guys for coming out or really just staying home and just logging in.
yeah.
It's the easiest thing. That's a good thing. I just want to say this too. Like I've said before, and I've said on Twitter, and I've said on my page, Houston has something to say. We're always showing the people in Houston that have something to say. We've had Soundmob today, guys, multi-platinum producers. And that room we were in the other day, Pyro, where that girl was talking about why don't y'all do this and why don't y'all do that? And I'm like, there's a multi-platinum producer right here the whole entire time. Like he's right there. He's actually right next to you. Houston has something to say, guys. It's a good thing that we have these gentlemen out here with us today. Once again, we have Ryu and we have Pyro of Soundmob, and I've been Avery, like a very nice guy, and that's been Jess Devon. In my humble opinion podcast, humbly yours.
We can always like put that on the end.
Thank you.
Drop shipping. Okay, so first off, explain to the people what drop shipping is, because some people understand it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically drop shipping is finding a source of a product, right? And being the middleman to, let's say Amazon, right, is what I use. So say Amazon is selling something for $60, but I find it at Target's website for $30. So all I'm doing is playing middleman, list it on Amazon for 60, let it sell for 60. I'm going to Target, putting the customer's information in there, shipping it directly to the customer from Target's website, never touching the product, and Target's doing all the work for me, and I'm just collecting my money now. So that's what drop shipping is, right? You're just playing middleman between buying low and selling high. That's all it is.
How'd you learn this skill?
I had a mentor, man. So about 3 years ago, I paid a guy a lot of money to learn what drop shipping is. He showed me the basics. I mean, I started back in 2017, right? So a lot of musicians depend on the royalty checks, right? But these royalty checks come in every quarter. So every 3 months you get a check, but what are you doing in between those 3 months, right? So I had to figure out a way to make money consistently. So I invested my royalty money, and I hired a mentor. He showed me the game, the basics of it, and I figured out my own way of doing things on Amazon, and I just ran with it from there, right? So I mean, I'm 3 or 4 years in the game, and now I put a course together because I've seen so many people who were in my shoes, like, okay, they want to pursue music, but they don't want to get a job and invest all their time into working all day. With this, you can work from home and do your music. So this is like how I'm able to provide the lifestyle that I have and continue to make money and continue to do my music, continue to get my royalty checks. So I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, man. And now I'm starting to teach people how to do what I do now. So 3 months ago, I put out a course. I sat down and recorded a step-by-step course. I'm walking you exactly what I do every day. And I mean, I got over 200 students now, and they're just killing it, man. This drop shipping is the new wave, especially right now with coronavirus. More and more people are shopping from home. So if you ain't getting no internet money right now, then you're sleeping, man.
Now, tell people how they can locate your course.
You can find my course online, man. You can go to theamazoncartel.com. That's the name of I have a free course on there. I show you exactly what I do. And if you're interested, I'm saying you can go on to it and just download the free course and watch it, man. And if it's something you want to do, just get at me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because I mean, you're talking about people in music that are trying to like fortify their income, but a lot of people. I've heard a number of people recently start talking about things like drop shipping. I mean, including myself. I've read a couple of articles about it, but it is a thing where you're like, okay, well, how do I get into this? What's my next step? You know, that kind of thing in terms of being this middleman in terms of shipping. Because I hear people about drop shipping other items. I hear people about drop shipping their own products or things like that when they want to sell merchandise or clothing or stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely. That is something people should definitely look at and try.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I got a free course called theamazoncartel.com. So go check it out. I mean, I got students doing $20,000 in the first month in sales. So I got Pyro. He started his own drop shipping store, man. So he's killing it. You know what I'm saying?
I was one of them students doing like 20K in a month. Just off why you do teaching. Yeah, man.
What?
Like, that's what I was so excited about it. I was like, damn, how could I forget that? You know what I'm saying? That was like something like that came at a vital time, you know what I'm saying, for me, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of COVID, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know what I'm saying, I was really trying to figure out what COVID meant for my future, you know what I'm saying? Everything kind of like changed right before our eyes. And you know what I'm saying? Like, right, you told me about the drop shipping thing when he first got started with it, but it was something that I just, you know what I'm saying, put on the back burner or whatever. And just the timing of everything couldn't have been more perfect when, you know what I'm saying, he put out the course and he told me he was doing it. I was all in. I was all in from there. You know what I'm saying? I got his course and shit went up from there. You know what I'm saying? He like the way that he breaks everything down is so simple. It's like an ABC process. You do this, you do this, you do this, and then on the flip side, you're gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? And the more you repeat doing this, the more of this you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like a simple process, but it's definitely dope. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing it's working because I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing it. I seen his life transform. So, you know what I'm saying? Just to be able to herald those same results from, you know what I'm saying? I like the simplicity of it is what blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's mind boggling that more people aren't into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, you said if you're not really like making money, you know what I'm saying, on the internet in 2021, like you're really sleeping.
And especially for the amount of time that people spend on the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you're already there, so you might as well be doing. And I think that's probably one of the things that's the I guess the stumbling block or the barrier to it, because I'll say from personal experience, it's mine where it's like you're looking and you're like, this can't be that like it seems real simple. So what's the catch? You know what I mean? And so that's what's kind of stopped me from getting into it. But I'm definitely taking a look at the course because you know, sometimes you just want somebody to kind of like, hey, this is the walkthrough. this is kind of how I went about doing things. Because people on their phones, especially during, I mean, we're in the middle of COVID. I know people are getting that iPhone alert that your usage is up 48%. Like, you've been on the phone all day. You might as well be making money, and an extra $20,000 can't help. It can't hurt. You know what I mean? It's definitely not gonna hurt.
Yeah, man. So y'all, whoever's interested, man, y'all can hit up the AmazonCartel.com. It's a free course on there. Y'all can check it out for yourselves. I'm saying, get at me. You can get at me, get at Pyro. He's gonna connect you to me. So just get with us.
Absolutely, man. We definitely gonna be taking a look at both of us.
Not this weekend. I'll be hitting you up.
For people that are listening, this was the bonus episode. You know what I'm saying? We kept, because they wanted, and that's a nice jewel to drop. So we really appreciate y'all telling us about drop shipping, because that's something I'm highly interested in. This is pure luck that we got it. Another example of how Houston artists just come through, man. They be helping. They be helping. So, man, we really appreciate y'all coming through, man.
Thank you for having us.
Thank y'all for having us.
All right.